our.
I think we're on base. We're on base. Test on base. We're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines down. Okay. Rabbi Chagai b'shem Rabbi Zira. Rabbi Chagai said the name Rabbi Zira. Lo sov tovar b'amto she'isol esol nochri. It's not only that you're not allowed to leave the animal which belongs to a Jew by a goy because he might engage in bestiality. Filu b'amto shel nochri eitzel, even the animal of a goy. Eitzel should be, the word shell is superfluous here. Eitzel Yisrael, which is given as for safekeeping to a Jew. Lo yachdena, you shouldn't give it over for seclusion. With the capacity of seclusion should be Eitzel Nochri Acher Chavero. But you shouldn't give the animal of one guy to another guy. Shlo timad tamsil takol, in order not to cause him stumbling block. In other words, you should not only should you give your own animal, you shouldn't give any animal, even an animal which you have for safekeeping with somebody else. Says Amar Me'atavet's case, Afilu Shtochas Bemto even if you rent it out from a guy, his animal. In other words, there's Avis rent-a animal, and you rented out the guy's animal from him, right? So maybe so maybe it's not proper to give it back to him to maybe to have seclusion with it. Because by giving back his own animal, he's going to have relations with his own animal, right? So maybe he should keep it, steal it, whatever. So it says, well, no. He's suspect to have relations with his friend's animal. He's not suspect to have relations with his own animal. To have relations with his own animal, it's going to become barren, because when people have relations with animals, they become barren. So then, he also is not going to have relations with his own animal. Other people's animals, he'll have relations with. But his own animal, he's not going to have relations with. Okay? But you can put an animal into the motels or stables of the Kutites, the Samaritans. Adamras teaches us, Kutim lo nechshdu arayis. They teach us that Samaritans are not suspect on licentious behavior, including bestiality. The Tanikim we also learned, a woman can seclude herself with two men. Even both of them are slaves. Even one is a kuti, a Samaritan, and one is a slave. But she should not seclude herself, but should say here, even with 100 goyim. It says im nachri, which is one guy, which of course is it's obvious she can't seclude herself one guy. She can't seclude herself one what?
I thought it was the other way around.
The what?
She couldn't stay with two men, but two women can stay with one man.
No, it's the other way. The exact other way.
Really?
Yeah. One man with two women is no good. Two men with one woman is good.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Avaloti siached, again, but she's not allowed to marry herself. Here it says iman nochri, it should say even with 100 goyim. So we see here that Samaritans are more trusted than goyim. Chamoso, your mother-in-law, v'achos ishto, your wife's sister, and v'shar korayis and any other erva, even if they are people who you're very familiar with and they're like family, lo yisyachli marlo b'fnei shleim, you shouldn't seclude yourself with those women unless there are two men around. Okay? We are on Daf Testament Beis in Avodah Zarah, page 18, and we're a little bit less than halfway down the page. And Mayor's at a ball game. Surprised it's not rained out tonight. It's here as
He's in Milwaukee.
yeah, I know.
They have a dome.
Oh, they have a dome in Milwaukee. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
It's brand new.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
That's
That
That's
was
my base.
one where the thing fell in last year.
I thought Toronto's one which keeps falling in.
That too.
That's okay. Tani, Ein Mochin. It's about halfway down. There's an asterisk in the middle of the line. Tani, Ein Mochin. You don't sell to Goyim. Lo Zayin. Zayin is raw materials like lead for bullets. Lo Klei Zayin, nor the actual weaponry. You can't sharpen their weapons. It says more to prepare. Let's clarify that's only Biur Shakul and Nachrim. Fascinating thing is, see, it's completely comprised of Goyim. You cannot provide them with weaponry. But a city where there are Jews, you can provide them with weaponry. We're not going to use it to kill the Jews, then we wouldn't be able to provide them. Rather, we need them to protect the Jews from outside marauding forces. So in that case, you can supply the Goyish army of the city with weaponry. In fact, it's interesting. I gave a shiur. I gave a shiur once upon a time about Israel selling arms to non-Jewish nations. So actually, this would be a riot that you're not allowed to do it, right? Because it says only if it's for the purpose of the Jews. Says the Gemara, I got a question. It says on our Mishnah that a woman should not seclude herself with goyim because arayas. Why is she not afraid she's going to get killed? So it says the Gemara, Rabbi Yami, tipater b'vriya. We're talking about a woman who's a bria. Now, bria here has three different interpretations. One is that she's a woman who's strong, she knows jujitsu, she's going to be able to oppose them. The other is that we're talking about a woman who's healthy enough to withstand being raped. So since she's healthy enough to withstand being raped, so therefore it's not sakonis tefashos with her to be by a goy. Maximum she'll be raped, but she won't die as a result. The third shot is that a woman is not considered to be part and parcel of war. In other words, she's not usually involved in violence. So therefore the men don't usually kill women. So therefore, a woman shouldn't be with a goy, not because of shvichus damim, that's not the issue because of murder, but because of gilui arayos. Okay, so it says the Gemara. Now this is not like the Bavli. The Bavli says why is there no problem of shvichus damim by women? Because women can seduce men. It was if they see that they're going to be potentially killed, they can actually seduce the men. Not necessarily to have relations with them, but tantalize them and make sure that they kept alive until such time as succor can be achieved. Okay, so that actually is not really quite like the Yerushalmi. Rabbi said, you can even say, a woman can hide herself. And say, a man cannot hide himself and say he's a goy. Why can't the man hide himself? Bris Milah, right. So I can't do that. So I have actually one of my uncles, I think my uncle's father-in-law, something like that, was saved in the Second World War from deportation because he was hemophiliac. And he never had a Bris Milah as a result. So that way he got saved. So anyway, Lamaisa, it's interesting here too that there's a whole discussion. The Rosh, the Mara put him on the bottom, brings down. So Rosh who says you're not allowed to save yourself from death by saying you're a goy. You can't say you're a goy. And he interprets this Gemara, this Yerushalmi, not that she says she's a goy, but she passes herself off like a goy. So you're not allowed to say that you're a goy.
I thought the Avodah was for Avodah Zarah.
So he wants Rosh to say even identifying yourself as a non-Jew is a form of it's a derivative of Avodah Zarah. It's called Avisrayu, a derivative. The Truma Sadesh wants to say you're allowed to say you're a goy. There's certain things now to say like something which would come across that you're denying a Kodesh Baruch Hu, or something like that, but to say you're a goy he thinks is okay, like the Pach Pshad thing we're over here. Okay? Says more further, Tani, we learn, if a Jew, a goy is accompanying a Jew, no salimino, you put the goy on your right. If he's carrying a sword, put him on your right. You know why? Because he carries his sword on his left side. So if you're walking on...
Oh, that's right, because you drove your
right. Right, so it draws like this. So if you're walking on the side, you can see it and grab the sword. So you keep him on your right, so you can see him grabbing the sword from his left. Okay. Vice versa by a stick, since he doesn't sheath the stick, he holds in his right hand. So in that case, you should stand on his left to grab the stick. Okay. So that's a practical advice. Rabbi Shlomo beside the mino b'maklo smolo. Only molali when you go up with him to the second floor, v'yoydi and you come down. And there are various different ways of rewording this word here. Could be Lirita, go back down with him on the way down. There are other interpretations here. But anyway, when you go always when you're going up or going down the stairs, then the general principle is Yisrael Melmalu. The Jew should always be on the higher part of the stairs. V'aklamat and the goy further down, so you can't push him down. Right? Never bend down in front of a goy, so that you shouldn't kick in your skull. And you should try and expand the distance between you and the goy. If a goy asks you where you're going, yafli, you should try and put a distance between you, and mention some future trip of yours, not the current trip. That's what Yaakov did to Esau. He said, he says, until I get to my master, to Esau in Seir. And where did he go instead? He didn't actually go to Seir. We never find he actually made it Seir. He never got all the way to Esau's lair. Rabbi Yehuda son of Rav said, "La'asi lovo." In the world to come, the eventual future, he'll come and conquer Seir Amrle. And he said to him that's what it says. The rulers will ascend the mountain of Zion to rule over the mountain of Esau. Says more further, a Jewish woman shall be a midwife for a shiksa. Because she caused the son to be born for Avodah Zarah purposes. But a non-Jewish woman can be the midwife for a Jewish woman. The Tani came, we learned this in a Brisa. The non-Jewish midwife works on the outside of a woman. But she can't stick her hand inside the woman. Why is that? Inside, the woman who's giving birth. Why is that? She shouldn't crush or whatever the fetus inside. Also, she shouldn't give the birthing mother a cup which sterilizes her. Now, the three interpretations of that. One says that there's a way to stick your hand in the bottom and cause sterilization tantamount to giving her a cup of this potion to drink. Another says that when she's in labor pain, she won't know what she's drinking, and this non-Jewish midwife will give her a actual cup of medicines which will make her sterile during that time. So just be careful of that. A third is that when she has to drink, it means a third thing altogether. The third shot. When she's giving birth, or when sometime in the future, is going to have to drink a, what do they call, prophylactic? What are they called? Some birth control. Does not have to drink some? Contraceptive, that's what it was. Contraceptive. When she has to drink contraceptive, so she shouldn't take the contraceptive from a non-Jewish midwife. Because she's
Are you one?
Yeah, what are you 46? Because she's going to adulterate it, so that you shouldn't do it because it's a sakana that she might adulterate it. Okay? So, all be that as it may, that's why how you should avoid a non-Jewish midwife. But but there are limited things you can do, such as helping out in front of other people, and not putting your hand inside. What if she was a professional midwife? Literally, chacham means a wise person, but here it means a professional midwife. Yeva, so what do we say about that? And she's a shiksa. Yeva Kamar Rabbi Yaakov Racham Shem Rabbi Yochanan, the famous heter Rabbi Yaakov Racham saying Rabbi Yochanan, Imayor Rofe Uman Mutter. Normally, not allowed to use a non-Jewish doctor, but if he's an expert professional in the field, you're allowed to use him. Why? Because we assume he's not going to lie in order to ruin his parnasa. wants to maintain his what's the word I'm looking for? His prestige as being a doctor who does the right thing all the time, and therefore you don't have to be afraid that he's going to mess up. Okay? So to here, if the midwife is smart, so then mutter, that's permissible to use her, even to stick her hand in, because as a professional, she'll make sure only to do the right thing and not do the wrong thing. Okay?
There was a story in the Bali about a non-Jewish doctor that they didn't want to use to save someone's life. Someone was bitten by a snake, and he was the only one that knew how to...
I'm impressed that you remember that. It's coming up again tonight.
Okay, it's in here too.
It's in Shabbos. It's a long time ago. Okay? So yes, it's coming up, the same story is coming up tonight. Says Marshu, he wasn't really a doctor, he was a sorcerer, but close enough. It's coming up. Bas Yisrael, lo sanik b'no shel akum. A Jewish woman should not nurse the son of a goy. Nation knows l'chaim because she gives him life. Rabbi Yosef said, it should be forbidden to teach a goy a craft because that's also a form of life. So here in the bottom, I don't know if it's censorship or not, but there's something called the aura, which wants to say that's only going on the Eichut over the Avodah Zarah. But on the Christians and Muslims, since they're more civilized, you're allowed to teach them a craft as well. Okay? Okay? You don't have to limit your instruction to Jews. Okay? So that's what he says. Armeir said, Hadam must teach us also not to teach him a craft, not to give him life force. Because that Haitin Umlin Hava Begiru, there were two craftsmen in Giru. Zagagia, which is a glass maker, the Kuvtsaraya. The Kuvtsaraya, I forgot what it was. Some sort of other craft, obviously. I used to make scarves. Pretty much it says head scarves or some sort of scarves. So it says the Gemara, Zagigaya, the glass guy, Ralphin, he didn't teach a guy malach. He didn't teach a guy with work to do. The Kamane was able to sustain his business. Kuvtaraya, the guy who did the scarves, Alfun, he taught the malacha to non-Jews, Visakrun, and he was uprooted. His business flopped. So more stories, you're not supposed to teach non-Jews the tools of the trade. Okay, that's what it comes out here. Okay, because, yeah.
Why not? I mean, they're making an honest living with these tools of trade. It's not the Avodah Zarah by learning how to make a scarf.
It's partly part of Los Chanem, not to give them anything for free. That means if they pay for the instruction, maybe you're allowed to do it, but not supposed to do it for nothing.
So you can conduct a school.
Right, conduct the school, but not for naught. Okay? Says more further, a shiksa can nurse a Jewish baby. But see if it says, your kings will be your nursemaids. And their noble women will be your nurses. So they should accept the offers. Okay, to fulfill. They should have a nachris. Non-Jew nurse the Jew in order to fulfill. I mean, it's okay, or fulfill the pasuk of their noblemen will be your nursemaids. Okay, it says Gemara for the top of Yudam Rav Tani. We learned Yonek Tinik B'Holech, a child lemaisa. That's upon us to cause a child to refrain, but a child himself can continue to nurse oblivious to where it's coming from. Mina nachas even from a shiksa. Mina behemoth's man even from a pig. Bring milk from anywhere. We're not was afraid of Tumah, nor says Bnei Moshe of Shekets. In other words, even if a person doesn't know the halacha precisely, nevertheless, we assume that it's been done properly. Okay?
We're not afraid that the nursemaid is going to harm the child while she's nursing, she's going to try to poison her.
No. I mean, maybe that was part of what the Tanakama's concern. Yeah, maybe that was part of his concern. The Tanakama said, what was Tanakama? No, I forgot your question. What was your question?
No, my question is, how come they're allowing a nufris to nurse a Jewish child? They're not afraid the nufris is going to try to harm the child?
Obviously not. Let's face it, what it is. Yeah. We're not afraid that she was going to harm the child.
I mean, we're afraid of walking up a flight of stairs with the guy, that the Jew should be on top.
Yeah, but Jews are not murderers. So it's very rare exception that I suspect Jews of being murderers.
No, you're afraid, you don't want the guy to be on top, because the guy is going to push the Jew down the stairs. He's going to kill the Jew. So why aren't we afraid of the nufris killing or harming the Jewish baby?
Oh, I see. It's the nufris you're asking. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know, Taka. Why are we afraid of that? I don't know. Maybe we're talking about professional nursemaids. They won't
Okay, so the reputation.
Reputation, yeah. I get it. I have a good answer. Okay. Halacha base. Misrapi man ripli mamon. You can be healed by, you can use non-Jewish doctors as veterinarians. Ripli mamon means to heal your animals. Avlo ripli nefashos, but not for your own self. Ve'im sarpin mechomokim, never get a haircut by Joe. Right? Never get it. Right.
Yes.
What?
Yes, Jewish tired.
Okay, so that because they use razors and stuff. It's dangerous. Okay. Divrei Meir, Chomer say b'shul sarai mutar, in a public place you can get a haircut because it's not going to kill you in a public place. But in private, never take a haircut from a guy. Okay. Rabbi Yaakov Zad B'Shem Rishon Ravo said, Ripui mamon is behemto, your animal. As I said, veterinary medicine. Ripui nefashos, curing the souls, gufo, are your body. Rabbi Yehuda said, Im hayah, if you use a non-Jewish doctor, but then it was nechmam, meaning you got an infection, literally your flesh got heated up, right? So I think an infection is,
Yeah, the skin gets warm.
The skin gets warm, right? Same way nechmam also, I actually skipped a line which the Shari Yisrael puts in, which is very important. Between Gufo and between Rabbi Ba, he throws in the line, based on the Ramban, that which the doctor is not allowed to treat by Goyim is internal medicine. And Chalal means in the body's vacuum. Avo, however, but to be involved in practical medicine outside the body is okay. Okay?
So you mean like dermatology?
Something like that they're allowed to do, right. Okay? So that's what he's saying here. Rabbi, on that, we're coming along, Rabbi Bob Shem said, even on the outer stuff, if there was an infection, also then you're forbidden to use a non-expert doctor. Like for our case, Rabbi Ami's like Rabbi and the Siyah, the Gror. They went together on vacation, Rabbi Am, Rabbi Nasiya, the Chamsa, the Gror. Loka Betzbo. So Rabbi Nasiya got a boo-boo on his finger. Yoavel Esplanis, and he put upon it a bandage. Chamsa, he saw one of the witches there, Mischalchala, she was, she's, I guess in the context, which somehow, I don't know, how exactly I could tell, but he saw that it was, the wound was getting deeper, the kalma, and it was getting lice. on it. So therefore, obviously, there was something wrong. So lo shmiya. So there's another interpretation. Mechalcha, he saw it getting deeper. The kofa, and he peeled off the bandage. Says more. I understand. Was he using an expert doctor? So we started here in the seal. We use an expert doctor. If you use an expert doctor, so then basically should be doing. You shouldn't have to take off the bandage, right? If he's using an expert doctor, then we understand he's taking the bandage because it didn't work out. But using an expert doctor, it should work the first time. It says, didn't hear that which Rabbi Yaakov say named Rabbi Yochanan. What was that? If he was a expert craftsman doctor, then mutter you can use him. Says Mara v'lo dam you should know the cases are not similar. Tamon there. It says here Nechman, but I took it out. Tamon mutar, bramhacha nechmam asur. There it's permitted, but here, if it gets heated up, it's forbidden. In other words, over there, in Eretz Yisrael, so there, I forgot what I wanted to say about this one side. Yeah, Tama by Rofe Uma, normally it's mutter. Why is that? Because the odds are he's done everything he's supposed to do, right? Bram Hacha, but here, Nechmam Asur. Here, if, I'm still not sure, 1 second. Yeah, Rabbi Yochanan is saying, Rabbi Yochanan is saying, or the more say name Rabbi Yochanan, that Taman over there it's mutter bramhacha. We take out the word nechma bramhacha nechma maser. We're allowed to use an expert non-Jewish doctor where there's no chashash, nothing's happened yet. But here there is a chashash. Your wound started getting hot. So therefore, here you have to immediately cease and desist. So it's either you just here wouldn't use a non-Jewish doctor, or couldn't use a non-Jewish doctor, but you have to cease when you saw that things weren't going his way of treatment. Okay?
All right, so you playing around with the words because you took out the Tom and Nechma.
Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense there, because then both scenarios are talking about Nechma. And the Shraiter so goes crazy about this a little bit. So anyway, it's Lamaisa, and he reads the 2 stages. Before you know anything bad about him, there was this doctor in England who killed 300 of his patients, right? Or something like that. It was in the New York Times the other day. Didn't you see it? You saw it?
No.
Okay, there's a doctor, a country doctor in England, who killed, he killed mostly old ladies, killed them by injecting them, whatever it was, morphine, I don't remember what it was. So Lamaisa, it's a Raifei Uman, right? It's an expert doctor. How can they be chayshid him? No, so that's what it's saying. Until you know, you're allowed to use them. Once you know, you don't go use the country doctor who killed 300 people. Okay? Says the Gemara, can you accept eye ointment from a non-Jew? Rav Amarav said, somebody wants to get blind, istamei. Sure way of fire way to get blind. Because they're going to use some sort of acid in the eye ointment. Levi said, somebody wants to die, there's a great way to die. Because they put in so much poison and it kills you as an entire organism, not just your...
Unless they consider neither a mace.
What?
Unless you consider...
Yeah, but then it wouldn't, then it wouldn't be a machlokas. Rav lo avid eina. Now Rav argues. Rav didn't make his eye, it should be kichalola. He didn't make his eye, actually I don't know why it could be Rav both. It should kichalo. He didn't make his eye like internal medicine. Internal medicine we said before, you can only give it to a Jew, right? He would give his eyes like external medicine, you allow a guy to handle it, okay? Levi over Eina. No, probably should be the opposite. Levi over Eina kichalolo. He makes the eye like the internal parts of the body, and then you can't have a guy doing it.
Turns out embryologically they're both right. Because the front of the eye is embryologically from the outside of the body, from the skin, and the inside of the eye is from the inside of the brain. So they're both right.
They're both right. Interesting. The thing is that even Rav, he didn't say it's a mortal wound, but he said it's going to cause you blindness. So it's not as if Rav really holds that it's not like the inside of the body. It's like it's not as severe as the inside of the body, whereas the internal medicine can kill you, this will just blind you. Whereas Levi holds, no, they can kill you through your eye as well. Of course, they probably can't. Levi holds it's a legitimate chashash, because he holds that it's like the internal medicine where they can kill you forthright. Okay? Alright, Barabba said, Varan Chamilon Tamin, Adokilarta. When we see the goyim tasting the oil ointment, the salve, before they put it in. So how can it be poison? Says more Neymar, could they tabu to him? Maybe he's smart, he tastes it when it's still good, before he introduces the poison. Kadilot kadlot kadlesu tava ukaima v'samya. But when it's no good already, then kaima means he puts it in.
Maybe spitting on the ointment and making contaminated.
Maybe, whatever it is. Kaima means he gets up. Okay, he gets up and he blinds the guy. Ain opium. Sakana, it's dangerous. Okay, in other words, you have to be very careful. Don't let a guy administer opium to you because it's dangerous. Harder to Raiki, I don't know to Raiki. Rashi says to Riako. Our name Moshe says to Riako, doesn't help me very much. Also, it's a controlled substance. It's dangerous. Rabbi Yitzhak Omar should be forbidden. Rabbi Yochanan Teshurim says it's okay. Chavrai B'Shem Rabbi Bar Zapta said, Kol Shumina Sofa V'Lifnim. Now this also get back from Masechta Shabbos, which is what you said before. Anything which is from the lips and inside the body. Rabbi Shabbos, you don't Shabbos. Anything beyond the lips, you don't. Hey, Rabbi Zera says that true or not? That we learn a Choshesh Peshino. If somebody feels a toothache, Loid might be chometz. He's not allowed to swallow vinegar, even though that's a refuah. Lomin Asaf Elifnim, who is not, beyond the cutter point, and therefore is not from beyond the cutter point. So therefore, something should it's inside. The cutter point is the lips, right? So he has in his teeth a toothache, so he should be able to take medicine. So how can you say he can't take vinegar? Oh, the Gemara never gives an answer. Makes sense, but the Gemara never gives the answer. Says the Rabbi Zira Lo Marking. Rabbi Zira Taka argued. He said on the definition of inside the body. Rabbi Zira B'Shem Rabbi Abba Bar Zapta said Kol Shinachol V'Ifnim, anything which is in part of internal medicine. Rapnos of Shabbos, you can heal it on Shabbos. Rabbi Zira, Bar Zucha, Rabbi Chayina B'Shem Rebbe all said Malim et. So in other words, it didn't. It's not anything from inside the tongue, from the tongue and the inside, or the gums and inside. It's beyond, well beyond that. Okay, this is a story about again going back first time. Rabbi B'Shem Rabbi I was said lo koshu min achol v'ifnim. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. He argues him, so he argues, that it's not enough that it's inside the lips. It's got to be in the real cavity of the body. That's what it is. So nothing to do with the lips, has to do with the internal body cavity, the organs in the body.
Isn't the base of
it's outside. And no, it's not internal. It has to be something down here, not up here. It's not necessarily fully eating it. Okay? So,
So the tumor, wasn't that, there was a concept of when you swallow it.
only by nivla sof tar, by a specific isolated case in Torah, not by any other case. Okay? So in any event, Rabbi Chanim Sherah said, Ralim Etzer Sharot for Shabbos, you can sustain somebody's head on Shabbos. Rabbi Chia bar Madya and Rabbi Reon, Rabbi Zira, Rabbi Bar Zucha, Rabbi Chanina, Rabbi Chanim Shem Rebbe, Ma'am Milsus Nine B'Shabbos. I don't know exactly what these things are, but somehow your ears are out of sync on your head. I don't know exactly how that happens. So you fix it on Shabbos. Rav Yochanan said, "Ayin shemort, if you an eye which rebels and the eye is becoming severely ill, Merabino Sabbath Shabbos Kihil Shabbos as well." Taman Amrim B'Sher Yochanan this and Rabbi Yochanan Gabos Yodayim V'Raglayim, a wound on the back of your hand or the back of your foot, sakona, is dangerous to you. Rabbi Avo and Michal Shabbos, Rabbi Yochanan said, Ahin Sumka, a certain red disease. I don't know exactly what it is. So that's this Sumka. I'm sorry, the pain motion symptoms. It's if the infection in the back of his hand goes white or goes red, then it's dangerous. That's what it means to say. Okay, so it says, Rabbi Shariot said, Ahin Sumka Sakana, the red color is no good. Rabbi Shariot said, Ahin Sumka, I just went back. Ahin Sumka Sakha. So he learned the way pain motion is going on when you have a wound. So if it's red or
Developing cellulitis. Blood poisoning.
But it's going specifically on the wound on the back of your hand, according to the red pain motion, the one Rabbi Yochanan was just speaking about. Okay, and it says more. Amr said, "Loktin lo oketz akra b'Shabbos." If a scorpion bites you, so you chop off his tail on Shabbos, because then somehow there's antibodies in the tail. I don't know exactly how it works. I don't even know that the scorpions obviously have tails. Then Rav Amar Chamra lebar me'ena shari. If you want to put wine on your eye, you can put it outside your eye and have it dribble into the eye, but not apply it directly to the eye. Shmuel Shmuel says, "V'hein rok tafel." If you have saliva. Same thing. You have saliva, and they use it as an eye ointment in the old days. Like saline solution, they had the real saline solution. So it says, "Ma'ain rok tafel." Also, lying b'Shabbos is not allowed to use it on Shabbos for the eye. It's not really healing it in a life-threatening situation, so therefore you must refrain from using it. Says the Gemara, "Minat yalif l'chazi state." When these parameters learn parameters of other relationships between between the medicine. I don't know saliva, but also other medicines which are used for other skin ailments, that they also are used in similar fashion to the stuff we described here. You extrapolate from the sugya to other areas. Says the Rabbana, the case. Sorry, the rabbis in Caesarea said, "Amrehadu Udinaya." Now, literally, Udinaya means a frog, but here it means some sort of pus underneath the wound, and it has some characteristics of a frog. I don't know exactly what they are. I had an Esther Sakon, it's dangerous Michal Shabbos. Chisam Shumer Kesard, a certain type of a certain type of coal. Sakon, it's dangerous. I'm sure it's another type of coal, Sakon, it's also dangerous. Amr Rabbi said, "No silov chometz Pesach." You can put chometz in Pesach on this, what are we talking about, which illness? Right?
Cuss under the skin.
One of these. Anyway, one of these maladies. Okay. So
you but you can't eat the hummus. You can just put it on.
Yeah, right. The others have the gear so
Getting hanaf.
yeah, just get it. So no. The shayt is something the gear so you can put on it remets afilu b'Shabbos. Hot peat even on Shabbos if it's cooling down. That's a different type of chiddush. Same idea though. Says the Gemara. What? I hate Bill Shari. It's also to pop a certain type of blister. Yesterday said Masis Armakin. The Brisa tells you can go out to pop it. So it's Machat Shoyat. If you have a needle for your hand, lead the basakot to take off a thorn. So use it. There must be a difference between a thorn and this other instrument. Where, one second. Yeah. So again, if you have a needle which you use in order to remove splinters, you can also use it for this purpose. If you don't say it, there's really no quantity difference between the different uses. Those are permitted. Those also, so might as well consider whatever we can permit it. I'm the Eina is a certain eye which went dark. I guess you couldn't see it out of it anymore. So it says the Gemara, Shalom Rabbi, and that's what we ought to do. Rabbi said, Rabbi Bar, you have Rabbi Bar from use an extra medicine. Shalom Rabbi Bar, so that's Rabbi Bar, the Shoylon, and he allowed them to put medicine on the wound on Shabbos. That's what he permitted to them. So it says the Gemara, Armalon, so he said, Afon Shari, he said, once he saw that he was matir, once Rabbi Yirmiyah said Rabbi Bar was matir, he said, I also am matir, I'm jumping on the bandwagon. Okay? Rav Shem Yochad said, I ain't sifton, I think it's a type of scurvy. Is sakanta is dangerous. Rabbi Yochanan Avalikain, he had this type of scurvy. Vavamite kume, the titmanis bitveria, he got better by going to a certain doctor in Feria. She was a Roman, it seems. Her name was Timtinus. Barov Tanelskaba, Erev Shabbos came down to her. Amr Mitzach, he said to her, Mitzach Hanol L'Machar Klum, do I have to come back tomorrow for more treatment? She said, "Lo, you don't have to come back tomorrow for more treatment. If you do need more treatment, I need it tomorrow. You're sure it's not going to pay anymore. Take some date figs and you start instead of say the nakabis and another type of fruit. Take them cut in half. Of the sarin, of the barley, I don't know exactly what that is. Moshe explained it, I forgot. He says, ur is the peel. The sauce cotton, neguva, and dried dung from a young lad. Ushchok, grind this all together, utfol, and put it on the wound. Lo temar kumi barnash, and she told him, when she gave him this medicine, this formula, she said, don't tell it to anybody, it's a secret. So what did Rabbi Yochanan do the next day, of course? It's a Jewish guy, right? He went to his center to publicize a secret, right? She went to Darsha Beis Medrash. V'shamas v'chonkas nagami. She heard about this. She was mortified, and she went and committed suicide. The woman who was writing who tried to keep the formula secret. Those say he's Gairish. She was Megayer because she saw Rabbi Yochanan was correct. She became Jewish. Shmamina plus. So from this you derive three things. Shmamina, we derive for this Sahin Tuvdana, that this scurvy, Sakana, is Sakana Mechal Shabbos in it. Shmamina, we also deduce Kol Shemin Asaf Lifnim, anything which is within the lips, Rabbis or Shabbos, you can heal on Shabbos. Okay, in other words, because this a malady which is somewhere in the lips, so it's not fully in the body yet. Shema min al-kaidamar, from this is derived, kaidamar b'yakub rachel shem Rabbi Yochanan, b'yakub rachel shem Rabbi Yochanan, im hayo rofe uman mutter. If he's an expert doctor, it's okay. This is going back on. They allowed to use a goy. In all these cases, you're allowed to use a goy if he's a rofe uman. Everything we said a rofe uman, a goyish doctor is not good as if he's not a rofe uman. But he is a rofe uman, he's good by everything. Okay? Now, Shema min hakom yishru min hasaf lifnim rabbis or b'Shabbos. Here, you're even allowed to heal discomfort, right? What? Yeah, I went back. So I went back to lights. Okay. The Shub Levi Havli Kulis. Shub Levi had a certain malady called Kulis. The Hori Lay Rabbi China Paskin for him, or to instruct him, Rabbi Yonason as well. Mishlo Talchufin to grind up to Talchufin, Umesan go Chamra Tika and put them into old wine, Umishte and drink it, Lo Sach, Lo Yisachet, in order not to be in danger. Babre Havli Bella, his grandson, had a certain type of infection. Asachad V'lachashle, somebody came whispered in his ear, again, he got better. Minafak, when the whisper came out, Amrei Shimshon said, what did you say to him? Amrei says, I said a certain thing. Amrei said, I would prefer that my grandson died, he said, V'lo Shama Damilsa, not here, it must have been an obscenity or something like that. Baba came. That's what happened. It's like an erroneous death sentence issued by the government, right? And therefore his grandson died because he made the statement. Okay? Says Rabbi Yaakov said, "B'chol misrapin and everything one can heal oneself when one is ill. Chutz mi'avodah zarah v'gilui arayos and shvichus damim, except for matters of avodah zarah, gilui arayos and shvichus damim, the big three." Rabbi Chos bar Yerucham says, "Akadum kshamar lo haveli ali mi'avodah zarah v'evilo." That might, perhaps it's only when you said explicitly, "Bring me the leaves which are me from the avodah zarah." Amar lo, what if he said to him, "Haveli alim stam," just bring me leaves. And then the guy brought him from Avodah Zarah, can use them or not. So now from here. Rabbi Acha Havalit Samruin, he had a kidney stone. I see later brought him Minzaku Say the Doi. They brought him water, sort of that water from the fountain of an Avodah Zarah, which came out of the male member of that Avodah Zarah. Okay? It's not exactly clear if that's the case, but it seems the case. You wouldn't drink it. I saw Rabbi Yonah, they brought Rabbi Yonah, and he drank. So we see that at least to bring it stam, it should be okay, right? Because he drank. Then it says, Abba, where my father Rabbi Yonah, you ought to know, man havun, that who held what, Rav Shasi wouldn't drink. Okay? Rabbi Yonah says, Samaris is all to teach us rice. We can't. The following apostle teaches us you don't use Gila rice to heal yourself. The time we learn Shabbos Mikola. Shabbos. Sometimes you can do Avodah, right? Sometimes Avodah can be done on Shabbos, right? Now Marasa Laucha Mikola. By now Marasa to have relations with a woman who's betrothed to somebody else is never ever mutter, right? So therefore, it's a far worse issue even than Shabbos, and that's why it's still Pikuach Nevesh. Shabbos is Mati Pikuach Nevesh, but not Avodah Zarah, which is never mutter, even in the case of Pikuach Nevesh. So too, it's not mutter, even in the case of Pikuach Nevesh, has other ramifications as well. Says the Gemara, can Shabbos Lucha Mikla, now it's a low Tra Mikla, top of Yud Alf and Alf. Shabbos Lucha Mikla, wasn't Shabbos is sometimes mutter. So it says, well, it's not talking about doing the avodah on Shabbos. No, that's looked out from elsewhere. Lo lisra post, it means sometimes he's freed in order to go to the, to be healed. Tkavosa namurasa, by namurasa as well. Lo hutra, she's not permitted, afilus rapos, even for the purpose of healing, so it's much more severe. Now, but I always just say for Gilead rights, you can't save your soul. It's not just with an Eishes Ish. Even in other words, not just Kimin Avera. Even if you want to hear a voice, this is the case of Gemara Sanhedrin in the Bavli. Certain fellow who loved a woman in the days of Rabbi Eliezer, the Sakin was in danger of love sickness, of dying of love sickness. Very romantic, right? As the true Rabbi Eliezer came and asked Rabbi Eliezer, Mao, the Tiaver Kumei, maybe we can put this woman in front of him, even though she's an Eishes Ish, and he'll survive. Armalante said, Yomus! Okay, let him die. Drop dead. We're not going to do that. Says Moro, Mahavas, can he listen to her voice, even if he can't see her? Maybe that will sustain him. Armalante says, nope, you should let him die, not do that. And what do you think we're talking about? What were they talking about? Where they were talking about a Pnuya in our Mishnah. Manmar Eishesish Nicha Ilsa Torban Eishesish Nicha makes sense. Manmar Pnuya, however, he also talking about a non-married woman. Va Bar Kocha Nagra, didn't Bar Kocha, who was a carpenter, Rachmidas love a certain woman or be infatuated with her. B'yoymed Rabbi Eliezer, days Rabbi Eliezer, the Sikain, and he put in danger, Sikain, B'shorel, and was put in danger by his great love. B'shorel Rabbi Eliezer, it's words are missing, but they're important words. B'shorel Rabbi Eliezer, and Rabbi Eliezer permitted him, I lost my place. Yes, the question was that Rabbi Eliezer was matir in his day this type of scenario. Says Marakame Shis Kama Pnuya. Now that which Rabbi Eliezer matir was by a Pnuya, this time by Eishes. So far not true. We already said so about a Pnuya here. If I feel they Kama Pnuya, can both be talking about by a Pnuya, an unmarried woman. Take out the next words Kama Eishes. Tipatcha Shenosan Ena Bad Shehi Eishes. Over here we find the guy that he can't even hear her voice because he had a taiva for a while. She was still married to somebody else. So even though now she's single, he can't still go listen to his voice because basically he was a lowlife before and we maintain him as lowlife status. Isway Mema, the both want to say Isa Ruba Havos. Some people want to say really, theoretically, they could have done it, but she was a great woman. Lavas Mishmalei. But she would never consented to marry him because she was a great woman. She was above his station, and therefore, kol madhava mavid beisar hava mavid. His entire life, whatever he did, would be beisar because she would never marry him. Begin Keloshro. That's why you say you might as well kick now while you're behind. Don't try and pursue her. Okay, this is actually very interesting. Gemara because it argues on the Yerushalmi. The Bavli holds that the reason why he wouldn't let this woman sing for this man, right, even though he was dying, if he's not going to hear her sing, is because Shelo Yibnos Yisrael Hefker. In order that Jewish women should not be Hefker, anybody wants to hear them sing, and as a type of them can get his way, even if it's not actual bia. But the Yerushalmi is not learning that way. The Yerushalmi is learning either it's because there was some prior connection while she was still an Eish, and that's where we find him, or because the other reason, the other interesting one is because she's the only reason all these things might be mutter is if it's courtship. Whereas if in the course of courting her, he wants to hear her voice and do that, the other thing. But she's never going to marry because she's a great woman and he's a lowlife. So then it's not courtship, there's no point. So actually it's like a heter for dating almost, like you can do certain things on a date, of course not things which go too far. It's on a date which you wouldn't do all the time because it's going to lead to courtship, but not if it's never going to lead to that anyway. So for the Maisa, questions whether it's the Raisa, the Rabbanan, that which they prevented him from looking at her, and that which they prevented him from hearing the Pashas is it's the Rabbanan. Okay? Now, also, Shvichus David. The following Brisa teaches also, Mishnah. You cannot heal oneself from murder. What's out the Tiantam we learned over there? You also rubo, if the majority of a child being born has come out, ain't no, but you can't kill him to save the mother. Right? Because we're afraid maybe, we suspect he's not going to die, he's a viable term baby, and therefore, we don't save the mother by killing the child. Now, lo sof davar shamel harogish as ish ploni. It's fascinating. It's not just they told you kill somebody, you can't kill him in order to survive, in order to sustain yourself. El amar lo chamos ish ploni. They told you steal from Yaakov. You can't steal from him to save yourself. There are two different shatim in this. The Rishonim and the Achronim argue this case. Why would I not be able to tell you steal? Why, if I tell you to steal from somebody else, okay, why would you not be able to steal? So the two reasons. One is the reason which is given by the Pnei Moshe here, which is that if I tell you to go steal from somebody and he resists, you're going to kill him. So it ends up being shpichus damim, right? Like Bava Machteres, he's going to kill the guy. So therefore, I can't steal from somebody to save my life, because if I steal from somebody to save my life and he appears, I'm going to kill him, and therefore it's a form of shpichus damim. So therefore, it's not permitted. According to, however, according to other Rishonim, the issue is, no, Gezel in and of itself is also, as difficult as that might be. Now you have to steal somebody else's property to save your life. You have to save yourself on your own terms, or through somebody's volunteer work. But you're not allowed to steal in order to save yourself. And the fact the Gadol, the Gadol Minsk says, logic is because it says, Ani Chashuv Kemes. So therefore, if you steal from him, it's as if you're killing him. So it's Shvichus Dam, which is an amazing thing for a Lithuanian Gadol to use, a Gadol like that. But that's how he says. So it's based on my logos. Why are you now to save yourself by stealing? Is it because stealing could lead to killing, or is it because stealing is a form of killing? That's the machlokas. There's also machlokas whether he passes or not, whether this opinion is only the opinion of Meir or it's the opinion of all the Tanoim, but that's not for now. Okay? Now it says more akum ba'akum. A goy cannot steal from another goy to save his life. And certainly akum Yisrael. If a goy steals from a Jew, he's certainly chayiv. Yisrael ba'akum. If a Jew wants to steal from a goy to save his life, potter. He's off the hook. And the it says potter, right? It doesn't say osir. It doesn't say mutter. It says potter. Also, this is not exactly what this Gemara's line is going on. It's ambiguous. It could be going on stealing, goy stealing from a goy stealing from a Jew stealing from a goy, or it could be going and killing. Right? A goy can't kill another goy to save himself. A goy certainly can't kill Yisrael to save himself. But Yisrael can kill a goy in order to save himself. I know you guys like that. Okay? Says more, a chista boy. A chista asks, Ma'u latil sakodo b'nafshe shekotn. If a cotton is a roidev, he's running, he's pursuing somebody to kill him, the cotton. Can his like the 14-year-old kid who killed his teacher, can he kill the cotton before he kills the gadol? Or they say since he's not mechuyev in mitzvahs, you can't kill him. But you have to let him, the matter run its course.
Well, does the cotton have das?
That's the question. He definitely doesn't have das. The question whether you're not going to... Hello? Hi. Yes. I'm late for Marav in the middle of saying shiur. Why? Are you not home? You're not home? Where are you going? Kmart? Oh boy. Okay, bye. Okay, so let me just go a little bit further. So it says Gemara, hey, Rabbi has fought Ninan, Yatsa Ruba ein Nogi Bo, Shein Dochi Nefesh Mipnei Nefesh. Says the Gemara, doesn't it say explicitly that if the child is coming out, you're not allowed to kill the child which is coming out? So you shouldn't be allowed to kill the cotton who's running after the gadol. So what Shani Tamar there said, lo nodam bihorig me. There it's not clear who's killing whom. But here we know who's killing whom. The cotton is going to kill the gadol. So here maybe we can kill the cotton to kill the gadol. Now, just to do your Maisa, says the Gemara, Maisa b'lezim v'doma shenashcho nochot, she was bitten by a snake. Uba Yaakov ish kvar samal raposo. And Yaakov ish kvar samal, which seems was an early Christian, came to heal him. Amar Rishon said, Yatsa Rashai ben Doma, you can't be cured by him because he is a Oived Avodah Zarah. I think it was actually a min. Armalo, so he said, Aniya, because Christian, a min. Armalo said, Aniya v'iraya shirpeni. Wait, I'll bring a proof that he's allowed to cure me. So I speak love Iraya. He wasn't able to bring the proof at Shemes before he died. Oh well. Armalo, Rabbi Shmuel said, Ashrecha ben Doma. She'asoso b'sholo min ha'olam. You left the world in peace. V'lo paratzo g'derin shel chachamim. And you didn't break the getter of chachamim. Sounds like it's a rabbana that you're not allowed to use the goy in order to heal yourself in this case. So he says, the chaim Hashem, because it fills out what it says, uparitz get ishchenocha, somebody breaks a boundary of the rabbana, he's going to be bitten by a snake, you don't break the getter. Says more, wait a minute, what do you mean you don't get bitten by a snake? He got bitten by a snake, he died of snake bite. Says more, shouldn't be bitten by a snake, losid lava, right, in the olam emes, to be bit by a snake. What would have been his evidence that he could have gotten healed? What would he have said? So he would have said, Asher Yasa Adam V'chai Bohem. He wanted to say, it says V'chai Bohem, Lo Shemos Bohem. So he wanted to say that applies in this case. But Rabbanan said, even though V'chai Bohem should apply, because it's not Mamish Avodah Zarah, just be healed by a min or an Oived Avodah Zarah. Nevertheless, the rabbis made that gather. Okay? Somebody who gives a haircut to a guy. He cuts until he gets to the bloris. The bloris is a ponytail in the back. Bloris, once it gets the ponytail, raise the mashgir, he has to stop the haircut because they use the ponytail as part of their avodah zarah. If somebody gets a haircut from a guy, you're allowed to look in a mirror. Even though man's usually not supposed to look in a mirror because of like a woman. Nevertheless, in order to safeguard your life, you're allowed to watch him in the mirror, right? Because I said before, now it's to take a haircut from a goyish barber, so look in the mirror. From a Samaritan, in a Ramar, you don't have to look in the mirror, because we trust the Samaritans are not going to kill you. They allowed the house of Rabbi Yehuda Nossi to look into a mirror, used cooking lamachos, because they had to look good for the king, so they were able to see, was the haircut nice, was the haircut not nice. This man said we all look in mirrors because we become the derech of males to look in mirrors too, but it used to not be. Shloshet by material based Rebbe. They allowed 3 things to the house of Rebbe. 1, Shuroim Mar, that they should look in mirrors. 2, Shumasabri Kubel should get a certain type of goyish haircut. And 3, Shilamdus B'nei Mibanis to teach their kids Greek. She was cooking machos because they had to deal with the goyim. Finally, for tonight, Chag Giyur, I don't know if this is out of left field because it has to do with haircuts. Chag Giyur Havasapar. There was a certain ger who was a barber. V'ava eats Trulugas, he was an astrologer. V'chami eats Trulugas day, he was saw in his astrology to Yudoy Shafchin Adme that Jews were going to spill his blood. V'lochazun Elam Garetzu, now what they were showing him was they was going to have a bris milah. Because he converted in the end. But he thought they were showing that the Jews were going to murder him. So any Jew who came to get a haircut by him, Katla, he killed the Jew. Common Katla, how many Jews did he kill? Rabbi Yosef says, Omar Shmoni, he killed 80 Jews. Rabbi Yosef ben Bunamar, Shloshmos, killed 300 Jews. Besides, eventually they found out that he was the one who was killing everybody. The Spal of the Davenim, Choser Usura, that he should go back to being a goy. Because he didn't want this type of ger. Baruch Hashem, he went back to being a goy. We don't need a mass murderer for a Jew. Tani, Nachri Shemoichas Sfarim Tefillin Mezuzah, a guy who sells Sfarim Tefillin Mezuzahs, ain't looking at it, we can't buy from him. Because he doesn't write Lishma. V'atayni lo nemaisiv Nachri Betzino Shemoichas Sfarim Tefillin Mezuzahs, Uba Maisiv Ne'echomir V'amu Mutal Ikach Meno. Hi, wasn't there a guy once in Sidon who was selling Sifrei Torah Tefillin Mezuzahs, and Chacham said you're allowed to buy from him? That was a ger It was a ger who was once from, and so therefore the tefillin he had were valid tefillin. He went back to being a guy. It's a mitzvah to buy the tefillin from him in order to save them from them.